Hi, welcome to Educated Esthies. I'm Shelley Hancock and welcome to my treatment room. Today I wanted to talk to you about LED. Now earlier this week, or actually last week, Michelle Phelan talked to you technical information about Michelle. She is an absolutely incredible educator. I'm so glad that she made that video for you. The way I teach is more about telling stories. So she's going to always be the technical side, and I'm always going to be the side that tells you stories about ways of using LED in your treatment room. I wanted to share my story with you about my first experience with LED back in 2003. Nobody had heard of LED back then. My husband and I went to a trade show just to go in and out really quickly to get some supplies. You know, I was told him half an hour at the most we'd be in and out of there. We'd stopped to use the restroom and I got out first and I started walking down an aisle and thought, oh, I better stop or we're gonna get lost. You know how it is in those trade shows. So I stopped at this booth where there was a lady sitting on this tall stool, and one of the ladies in the booth was holding something that kind of looked like this, but it had a light on the end. To me, it just looked like a flashlight. And she was holding it up next to this lady's eye and talking to her about this thing called LED. I thought, that's interesting. Why does she have a flashlight on her eye? Because remember, nobody had heard of it back then. And I started listening a little bit more, light emitting diodes, and oh my gosh, it was really interesting. And oh, but we're just here to get some supplies. We're in and out really quick. But boy, this was really interesting. So I kind of leaned in a little bit more to hear about it a little bit more. And before I knew it, I was sitting in the high stool with the flashlight on my eye. Had my eyes closed and the lady's going over all the information and I'm just really taking it all in. And I open my eyes and there's my husband standing there like, hun, you just said in and out. So I said, thank you very much. And off we went to get a few more supplies. And as we're walking around getting these supplies, my husband keeps looking at me. Like, really strange. And I finally said, babe, why are you looking at me like that? And he says, your eye. What did they do to that eye? Go back and make them do the other one. And so we hightailed it back to that booth. I had him do the other eye and explain a little bit more what was going on. And we walked out with a $5,500 LED machine. So much for just getting a few supplies, right? So this LED machine was two hand pieces that were about maybe 1 inch in diameter. And so for the first 2 years, I would just hold these hand pieces on the face, 3 minutes in one area, before I had to move it to the next area, before I went to the next area. Oh my word, if the results weren't so good, I wouldn't have stuck with it. But I really did good results. So finally, after 2 years, I decided to go to an LED panel. Back at a trade show again, my husband and I grab an LED panel on sale, show special, for $10,000. Knowing what I know now about LED panels, I did not need to spend that much money. But I got great results, and this time I didn't have to be standing there holding it. So what I started doing way back then was I include LED in every single treatment. It's not an add-on, I don't charge extra, I just started factoring it into the cost and the time of the treatment. Now, most LED panels, to get a good treatment, you need to do 20 to 30 minutes. That's a long time of our treatment time in there, right? So about 4 years ago, I approached a gentleman who's to me like Mr. Scientific guy, and I said, listen, can you make me an LED panel that's not gonna break the piggy bank and also is not going to take 20 to 30 minutes in our treatment rooms? And it took him 2 years in the making. This was not a like throw some LEDs on a panel type of thing. So we went back and forth and finally we came out with it. It's been over 2 years now. And we came out with a panel that's a 5-minute treatment time. It has 1,800 LEDs in it. That's the most of any panel I've ever worked with. And the power, look at this power. I'm gonna turn it on for you guys. Here it is right here. It's flexible so it can go flat over a client or you can curve it. 5-minute treatment time, 1,800 LEDs. Now, with just 5 minutes, we can afford, time-wise, right, to include that in every single treatment. I always top my treatment off with it. I do everything that I'm gonna do, use all my toys that I'm gonna use, and at the very end, it's like the icing on the cake. 5 minutes of LED, and then sunscreen, and off they go. Having the 5-minute treatment time now also allows clients to do drop-bys in between their regular facial treatments, because then it's a 15-minute appointment, in and out. And I recommend offering it for something inexpensive enough that they'll do it on a regular basis. It's going to be a lot of extra income coming in for you. If you've got an extra room, that's even better because you can keep that room going all day long with these LED treatments. So I just kind of wanted to share that little bit with you about LED. I'm just crazy about it. Go on my website and read some more. We do also have LED discs that have, red has 300 LEDs and green has 250 LEDs. We will have a blue one coming out soon. So if you're not in the place to be able to purchase a panel yet, you can purchase the discs. They're 4 inches in diameter and they're a 90-second spot treatment, and 4 spots cover the whole face. So very quick. That's it for today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again real soon in my treatment room.